In this short video, I'm going to show you how you can effectively select different rows of data in a data frame in R. I'm going to show you how you can do that based on one or multiple criteria in your data as well. The first thing we're going to do is create this data frame. So this is a small data frame that contains a variable called case, which is a unique identifier for each participant, a condition, which is labeled as X or con, experimental or control. I've got my participant ages and the scores on a given variable. So if you want to have a little look at that data, that's what it looks like. I'm going to show you now how we can select from this data and create a new, smaller data frame, which I'm going to call DF1. Let's say, for example, only you want to see a specific case. I want a data frame that contains just one case. Let's say, for example, it's going to be my first case, EF67. So I can use this command here. So I say my data frame I'm using, and then in my square brackets, I tell it the name of the variable, then equals, which means basically it must equal, and that's to be selected. The case must equal that value, and then we've got a little comma there, and then we click on. And if you look at my new data frame now, there we go. You can see we selected one case. My data frame only contains one row. This comma may look redundant, but it's actually very important. If I'm to get rid of that, and I run this, what it's going to do is simply give me the column that contains that variable. So obviously we are selecting rows, so that comma is incredibly important for us, because that's going to give us exactly what we want the row. Now we could do it for one of my condition instead. So instead of selecting simply one row, I'm going to select anyone who meets the criteria of being in my experimental condition. So I'm selecting the cases based on the factor. It's exactly the same command we used before. So it's just telling this time in my condition variable to be selected, it's got to contain equals X experimental condition label. So if I do that, that's just the people in my experimental condition. Of course, it doesn't have to be something equals something exactly. I may want to select cases based on numeric quality. For example, I may be only interested in participants over the age of 20. So if I was to do that, I do age and then greater than 20. So it's only going to select an age greater than 20. So we look at that. There we go. So our participants over the age of 20. I could do multiple things at once as well. So I may be interested in people in my experimental conditions and their age is equals 20. So 20-year-olds in my experimental condition. So the only addition here is I put the and in there, the ampersand, and then I write my two criteria in. Just note you don't have a comma here or comma here. But we still, of course, keep that comma at the end. We just run that. If you look at the data frame again, there we go. We've got experimental condition and over 20. We've got experimental condition and age 20. Now, of course, we could use our greater than command instead. So it's the same as before, but use greater than. So this is going to be people in the experimental condition and over 20. So it's going to just give us one participant. And there we go. Now, we could also exclude people based on a certain criteria. Maybe I don't want 24-year-olds for some unknown reason. I've got prejudice against 24-year-olds because they're so much younger than me, probably. And we just say age and then exclamation mark equals. So that means basically if it's not equal to 24. So I'm going to keep everybody whose age isn't 24. Here we go. So this is everyone bar my 24-year-old. They've been removed from the data frame. So that's it. You can use all different combinations of these, but it can be really useful for filtering through data sets or if somebody's requesting certain participants of you based on certain criteria and so on. As ever, the code can be found below the video.